Blog Talk Radio.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Tough Reality. We'll discuss reality and the truth that is right in front of your face. And sometimes the toughest things are right before. We'll discuss issues of politics, religion, economics, and all the things that sometimes you don't want to discuss at family dinner, But no topic here is off limits. We're in China, and we'll discuss thoughts from a global perspective. It's PG-13 and interesting. It's all fair game. I look forward to meeting you on the chat. Now call in and discuss your favorite topic. You might disagree, but I will let you get across, not cut you off. Now, have you had your daily dose of PR? That's Tough Reality. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Go to our website at toughreality.com. That's toughreality.com. Email me at mike@toughreality.com. Now remember, our call-in number is 347-989-1012. Again, that's 347-989. So tonight we're going to be discussing a lot of different things, and I want to get started off with actually giving you a quote that I came across that I thought was really cool. It sounded good to me. This came from Steve Young. Now, Steve Young was a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And the quote says, "The principle is competing against yourself. It's about self-improvement, about being better than you were the day before." Now, I agree with that. That's a very good quote because that's what we have to do. We have to become better than we were the day before. We don't have to worry about what other people are doing or what they have done or what they haven't done or what they might do. Sometimes people won't come through for you. Sometimes people say they'll do one thing and they won't do it. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then they don't come through. They promise you this, they promise you that, they don't come through. They say this is going to happen, that's going to happen, doesn't happen. Listen to me. You need to count on you, count on yourself, and believe in yourself, and understand that you need to become better each day for you, and nobody else, just you. So today we're going to be discussing all kinds of things, and we're going to start off with a little bit of news, but probably at the end of, sort of the end of this hour and maybe into the next hour, we'll be talking about conspiracy theories. That's right, conspiracy theories. I love conspiracy theories, and I like to study them. I like to look at them, research them. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're crazy. But we will talk about those and get through them. But we're going to talk about some news first. Especially, I want to start off with some news related to China. Now, lately, you've seen a lot of news articles about a dispute between China and Japan over an island. Now, this island is located near China and Japan. The dispute, you can read about it online. I've actually posted an article up on the Tough Reality website that actually talks about it. And if you go to the Tough Reality website and look up Chinese general says prepare for combat. if you'll look at that and read through that article, it gives a sort of a synopsis about what's going on. There's a picture there actually of a car that was turned over during one of the demonstrations, and then also a picture of the demonstrators surrounding the Chinese police. So there's this thing going on, this conflict going on between the two people. But the thing that's noteworthy here, and the reason I posted the article, was because this Chinese general is a very respected official in the Chinese government, and he's telling the Chinese military to prepare for combat. So many people in China do not, I repeat, do not want war. They do, however, want, I think, some justice. From what I hear from people, I actually am, for those who don't know, I'm actually living in China right at the moment, and I get a chance to hear a lot of the news that comes here from China from their perspective. So in talking with some of the Chinese, I've come to understand that they believe, number one, that Japan did them very wrong in World War II. Evidently, excuse me, they took pictures, had different things of prisoners, of atrocities that they committed against the Chinese people. So during that war, of course, there was bad things that went on. But then after the war, there was no reparations or apology or any type of thing to say that, we're sorry, that came from the Japanese government. So that's one issue. One issue is that the people here still have that pain or hurt from that particular event. Now, there are other things involved here. Another is that the island was in an economic dispute also because the Japanese believe they own it and the Chinese believe it's still theirs. So the Japanese do not want to yield, and of course the Chinese don't want to yield either. So they have come to a point where the Chinese believe that they need to take action. Many of the people believe that too, and so many of the people have, not all, but many have taken to the streets to protest that the Chinese government should do something. Now, unfortunately, some of the Chinese protests have gotten out of hand. Some of the signs have said death to the Japanese, wipe the Japanese off the map, that type of thing. So they are very emotional about the situation, and I can understand where they're coming from and why that would be. But they right now are in the middle of protesting. On Sunday, there was a protest very near here where many thousands of people came out to protest and to express their view about what's going on. And so it was very unique for me as an American to see Chinese people protesting, sort of, in a way, exercising free speech. It appears that as long as you're exercising free speech against an outsider and not an insider here in China, that the speech is okay. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I've observed. Another thing, in driving around, I've noticed that many Japanese businesses have just shut their doors. They've closed. Number one, some of the Chinese people have started to refuse to go to Japanese restaurants or Japanese different businesses, and so those people who have those businesses have been running into issues or problems with keeping things open. Today I was driving. I don't drive with my driver, and we passed a Toyota dealership, and it appeared that the Toyota dealership was closed, and there was probably six or seven police cars in the automobile parking lot. So it's very interesting to see that there's a high tension of what's going on. Now, in asking some of my friends here in China what they think is they don't believe there's going to be a war, but they do believe that there's going to be some kind of confrontation. I just pray that that the confrontation, whatever it might be, doesn't get out of hand. It would be really good to see the Japanese government, the Chinese government get together and talk about it. What I was thinking about today, and I thought would be really cool, is back in the 70s, I think it was Jimmy Carter. Now a lot of people, like him or hate him. Don't like Jimmy Carter, or maybe they do like him. He was a very, seemed to be gentle man. But he did have an opportunity to have some talks. And I think it was with Israel and the Palestinians. So he actually had them sit down at Camp David and talk about their issues. It'd be cool, and I'd like to say this out there. Hopefully, maybe even listens to the show. It would be great if Barack Obama, I know he's a busy man, has a lot of things to do, but it would be great if Barack Obama would say, hey, look, leader of Japan, leader of China, I would like to have you come to America and let's talk about this issue and let's talk about it and see if we can use diplomacy to work this out. I believe that we can use words, meaningful words, instead of rounds of ammunition, instead of killing people with bullets. I believe that we could do that. So again, go to toughreality.com and look. You can search there on the page and look for the article, Chinese General says to prepare for combat, and you'll be able to find that. Now, another article related to the Chinese situation with the conflict with Japan is, I put another article up there that Beijing hints at bond attack on Japan. So Beijing hints at bond attack on Japan. You can search for that. But basically what this is a senior advisor that's in the Chinese government has called for an attack on the Japanese bond market. Now, bonds are just a financial instrument that some people invest in, some people don't. But to launch an attack on the Japanese bond market to precipitate a funding crisis and basically bring the country to its knees, and unless Tokyo reverses its decision to nationalize the disputed island. Now, I'm going to try to pronounce the island. I might pronounce it wrong. I do know a few Chinese words. We're going to talk about some Chinese things today in food, culture, and people and that. But these islands, and here we go, Senkaku Island and Yahyo Island, and it's in the East China Sea. Again, they're saying that we should maybe launch a bond attack against Japan. Now, I think that an attack like this is interesting, and I think it's non-threatening to life, okay? Do I agree with it? I don't know if I agree with it or disagree with it, but what I do know is I would prefer different types of economic options as opposed to the military option of going into the island and blowing up the island and blowing people up. You know, I explained to a person I was talking to, they were talking about wanting to kill the Japanese. And I said, well, I understand your feeling about wanting to kill and the feelings that you have because of things that happened in the past. But let's think about this for a minute. If, in fact, there is a war between China and Japan, and the Chinese military goes in and the Japanese military go in, they send a man from Japan, a man from China. The man from China leaves his wife and his baby, and then the man from Japan leaves his wife and baby. Then which man should die and then leave the baby without a dad, or the mom without a husband? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think we should exhaust every avenue. We should exhaust everything we can to make sure that all things are taken care of. And we've exhausted everything as far as talking goes before we use bullets. And I hopefully that you agree with that. And later on, you can call in and we can talk. But let's take a quick break. and I'll be back in just a little bit to discuss more of these issues, some more news issues, some earth change issues, some conspiracy theories, some exciting things, life-changing things. You give me a call, and the calling number is 347-989-1012. That's 347-989-1012.
Is there proof of God's existence in our government's records? Author Jose Colazo brings his years of research into this stunning question to light in God Does Exist, No More Nuclear Testing, and more. Touching on little-known government projects such as the Remote Viewers Program and Active Auroral Research Program, Colazo has uncovered some amazing discoveries through his research and use of the Freedom of Information Act. From uncovered information on the Ark of the Covenant to connections between natural disasters and nuclear testing, experience this revealing look into our government's obscure and hidden work. Discover how new and experimental technologies may change our world forever and uncover monumental proof and answers to mankind's greatest questions in God Does Exist, No More Nuclear Testing, and more.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and facts that the mainstream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrives. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed. Also, take a look at Crystals TLC. Visit the website at www.crystalstlc.com. Hit the Avon link to view a full line of 100% guaranteed Avon products. See and order their specially scented, long-burning soy candles, which could be ordered directly from www.crystaltlc.com. Their candles are produced especially for Crystals TLC and come in a wide variety of beautiful scents. Visit them and let them bring beauty into your life. You're listening to the LNM Radio Network.
Day after day I'm more confused, yet I look for the light through the pouring rain.
All right.
You know that's a game that I hate to lose.
Enjoying the wonderful sunshine here in China and a lot of the unique foods and opportunities here. We're going to be talking more about that. But again, the key thing over here anyway is this dispute between China and Japan over this island. I think and I believe that it will be resolved relatively quickly. I think that it will be resolved without bullets, I pray, but I think that that's going to happen. I think that I believe that there's calm people in the world. Not everybody in this world wants war. I know that in America, sometimes, even here in China, as they talk to people, they think that we're always looking for a fight. And I try to explain to my Chinese friends that not everybody in America likes war. Not everybody in America carries a gun and walks around with a gun on their holster. Some believe here in China that, because we have the right to bear arms, that we walk around with weapons and, we're looking for a fight. We're not. We're not looking for a fight. Most Americans are good, hard-working people. We have the Second Amendment because we have it, and that's our right to bear arms. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in the First Amendment, the right to say what we want to say. As long as what I say doesn't hurt you in any way, I can say what I want to say. And as long as I carry a weapon around and I'm safe with it and I don't shoot people with it and that type of thing, I'm fine to carry a weapon. So in explaining these rights and things that we have in America to the Chinese people, they understand that, we have a different form of government. In the past, here in China, they've had a communistic form of government, and it's sort of a hybrid now. You still have the Communist Party here, but you also have a form of free enterprise, a form of capitalism. Typically here in China, you can go down onto the street and buy most anything that you want. You can buy shoes, shirts, food, jewelry, watches. There's a lot of different things you can buy right on the street. In America, and where I'm originally from in Missouri and in Washington State, I can't go out to the street and go buy a sandwich just on the side of the street necessarily in my town. I can't go to the side of the street and buy a T-shirt. I have to go to one of the box stores or go to one of the major department stores to find the item that I want. Here, just walk out of your apartment and go negotiate a price. And that's the other thing that's interesting about China, is that you can literally, in most stores, negotiate a price. So if you walk into a store and you see an item and it says 10 on it, here they use the yuan, which is their form of money. Also, most people call it RMB, R. That's Romeo, Michael, and Bravo, RMB. So you can negotiate with most of the people that have stores on the street a different price. It might say 10 RMB, and you might be able to tell them, well, maybe I want it for 5 RMB, and then they might say, oh, no, maybe 7, and you say maybe 6, and they say, oh, no, and you can negotiate back and forth. So that's part of the fun here in this culture, is the ability to negotiate right on the street. And so it's a form of free enterprise. I mean, it's very interesting. If I go into a department store and I see a T-shirt and it's $10, I can't go to the manager and say, look, I want to pay $5 for this. Is that okay? I mean, this doesn't happen. So it's very interesting. If you ever have an opportunity to visit China, it's a very, very interesting culture, very interesting. Now, later we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But other things that are in the news right now that I find interesting is things like, with Barack Obama. Now, I put an article, and actually it's a link to a video up on my website. And I really couldn't believe it. But I had to post the link and the video into Tough Reality. Now, the title is Obama in 1998. I actually believe in redistribution. Oh, my God. I can't believe he actually said it. Now, what he's really talking about here is taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Okay? Now, I'm not saying we don't help the poor. We should help the poor. If people need food or they need water or they need shelter, we should help them with that. Okay? Legitimate things that people need. But I couldn't believe that he's in 1998 saying, I actually believe in redistribution. That's his quote. I want you to go look at the video. Please share it all around. Now, today I'm going to play for you a funny recording from I think it was 1972. In the 1972 convention, and it's an actual parody about the convention and what went on during the convention. So it's very funny. It's made together with songs and different things. But anyway, in the political world, right now Mitt Romney is all over the news because there was a secret person going into a meeting, recording something very secret, and Mitt Romney, all he did was tell the truth. 47% of our people are dependent on government. 47%. Are you kidding me? 47%. That's almost what? Almost 50%. Almost half. I'm like, I can't believe it. But it's true. Okay? It's absolutely true. So all Romney was doing was giving the truth, and people got upset about the tough reality, the real thing that's going on. So they got upset about it. Now, am I saying that people shouldn't be helped? No. I'm saying that if a person can't help themselves, you help them get up off their butt and help them out. If they're knocked down, help them out. I'm a compassionate, giving man. But I do not believe that we need to have half of our population dependent on government. And as Barack said, he believes in this theory or whatever. I actually believe in redistribution. Now, I can't do an imitation of Barack. I wish I could. I've tried many different imitations. I like trying imitations, but I'm never good at imitations. So I'm afraid if I do it on the radio, it'll sound really crazy. But anyway, I want you to go to my website, look in there, Obama in 1998. I actually believe in redistribution. I couldn't believe it. It was completely unbelievable to me. And as I told you, Mitt Romney is up and down in the polls. So he's, one day 47% Romney, 42% Obama. Next day 48% Obama, 45% Romney. It's going back and forth and back and forth. We don't know who's going to win. But I do know this. I do know that each one of us, if we can, we should vote. We should make sure that we vote, we do the right thing at the right time, and make sure that we exercise our right to choose. We have a right to choose the people in our government. And if we don't choose the people in our government, we cannot complain about what we have. I like to use this thing. Now, in our show, every once in a while, I will come up with idioms, idioms, idioms. Those are sayings, things that I believe in, things that I say. So there will be idioms from tough reality. Maybe we'll put that in a book someday. Anyway, this idiom is this. This idiom says that we cannot complain about what we permit. We cannot complain about what we permit. If you don't vote, you have no right. You can, but you have no right, I believe, to complain. I think that we can call. I voted in the last election. I did not vote for Mr. Obama. I voted for Mr. McCain. But I voted. Now, this time I plan on, I'll just let you know, because I can have my own opinion. I am going to write in, or if he's not on the ballot, Ron Paul. That's what I'm going to do. Now, some people might say, you're wasting your vote, Mike. This is politics, Mike. You've got to be careful what you... Look. I choose what I want to choose, and I want you to do the same because we can exercise our right. If enough people get tired of this, we will have other than the two-party candidate. One day, I hope that we do have a libertarian, a new type of a political official with a different party, because I'm telling you, the Democrat and the Republican are being controlled by the same puppet master. They have the same chessboard player. Even though one piece might be the black side, one piece might be the white side on the chessboard, it doesn't matter. They're both being controlled by the same chess man, same person. My gosh, that's the thing that really bugs me about elections, is both of them are being controlled usually by the same exact person. So I don't think that's good. Now, look, if you want to call in, I'm going to give you the numbers, 347-989-1012. That's 347-989-1012. Now, remember, we're going to talk today a little bit about conspiracy theories. We're going to talk some more news articles because this is a news show, but I want your comment. So I want you to either comment me, email me at mike@toughreality.com, or I want you to go to the toughreality.com site, and I want you to comment on some of the articles that I've posted up there. We're going to post a lot of different articles up there. And in the future, I've written many ebooks. So I'm going to post some of my ebooks up there, and you're going to be able to download those, and most of those are going to be for free. Because I want to get the information out. I want people to understand that there are many different things that are going on in this world that are not right. There are many things going on that we should question. We have to be able to question. And if we don't question them, then we cannot just accept things as they are. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a short break, and we're going to go ahead and listen to that. And I hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to you a little bit later.
There is a condition 1 out of every 3 people around the world suffer with. RMS. A condition that can be crippling. RMS. A condition that causes confusion and discomfort, rapid pounding of a fist on tables, and unwillingness to watch the fake news. RMS. Restless mind syndrome. You may not have heard of it, but if you are one of the millions suffering from this condition, there is now hope. You do not have to go through life not knowing what to do next or how to rid yourself of this health-bearing condition, now being recognized by doctors, lawyers, and victims all over the world. The cure? LNM. Just listen to this testimonial by one of our subscribers.
I can say true to my heart that LNM worked for me. I stood up day and night confused by what the fake news has told me. I could not even take care of my family or hold a job. I couldn't even get off the couch to do anything, and I knew there was a problem. Now, since I've been on LMN, my family life is back, and I'm waking up more people than ever around the world.
Now you know what you can do to put an end to restless mind syndrome. Ask your doctor about LNM and ask if it's right for you. LNM should not be taken without a prescription. It should never be taken while on drugs like Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. You should also tell your doctor if you take Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, or Randy Rhoads serious. Side effects of LNM include waking up, spreading truth, passing out cards and flyers. Other side effects may include, but not limited to, the expansion of mind and thought, arguments with sheeple, high blood pressure, preparedness, mood swings, and the feeling of a need to get involved. If you see chemtrails after you have begun using LNM, contact your state and local officials immediately, because this could be a sign you're waking up. LNM, because you don't have to live in the dark with RMS anymore. Is it possible to read a person's thoughts? Can we implant thoughts also? Is there evidence of the existence of God? Does USGS records show increases in earthquakes due to nuclear testing? Author Jose Collazo says yes, and he has the proof in his 3 books titled America's New Slavery, fMRI Technology, America's New Slavery Behind the Scenes and Update, God Does Exist, No More Nuclear Testing, and much more. Researched under the Freedom of Information Act and other sources, Jose Collazo has the proof to most of his claims and is investigating others. You can get copies of his books on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or www.xlibris.com. That's www.xlibris.com, or you can click the book banner on the main page right next to the chat room on www.latenightinthemidlands.com. Get your copy now. Folks, L&M is going through some changes. Changes on the air, changes on the website, and changes in our funding. We felt these changes were necessary in order to live up to the slogan, and more important, to be true to the very people who made us one of the best on the net. We need you now more than ever so that we can continue to bring you the best guests and the best information. The truth is, we cannot survive without the support of our listeners, and that is sometimes hard to get through to some people's heads. So for those people, we say goodbye and welcome our new era on the LNM network. Please help us by donating on the website. The donate buttons are located on the right-hand side of www.latenightinthemidlands.com. And we thank you all for your support and understanding through these times of change. The good news is, we're Late Night in the Midlands, and we really do cover everything.
alright with me.
I love that song. Stay Together. Very good song. So look, I want to thank everybody for listening. Our call-in number, if you'd like to call in, is 347-989-1012. That's 347-989-1012. Again, thanks for listening. Also, thank you for listening into this network, the LNM Radio Network. I want to thank Michael Vera for allowing us to be on this network. It's a very good thing. We thank you for listening, and we want you to listen to all of the shows. And make sure you go over to latenightinthemidlands.com. Go over there and look at the show schedule. There's a lot of great shows on there. Michael does a great show every night of the week, Monday through Friday. And then we have some weekend shows. We have some daytime shows and evening shows. It's really good. I've listened to all the backups of the different shows, and it's very, very, very interesting. Okay, when we left for the break, we were talking a little bit about voting. And I think it's very important that we do vote. And the polls, we see them going back and forth and back and forth. And so that's what happens in politics sometimes, is it goes back and forth and back and forth. Well, for a long time, I had this recording on 45 record. And just recently, I transferred it to MP3. So I'm going to try and play this. It's about 4 or 5 minutes long, and I think you're going to like it. I want you to call in if you'd like to. We have a few callers that are calling in, but call in if you like, and you can make a comment about this, make a comment about Japan and China, or make a comment about Barack Obama saying that he, in fact, believes about redistribution. That's crazy. And so after this, we're going to go over a few more articles, and then we're going to go into talking a little bit about China, culture, people, and things like that. Okay, so now I'm going to play this. It'll be about 5 minutes long. I hope you enjoy it. Have fun.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Walter Klondike from Convention Hall, Miami Beach, bringing you the first get-together convention of Republicans and Democrats alike. We have Henry Kissinger and Vice President Agnew standing by on the right side of Convention Hall. Come in, David Stinkley.
Thank you, Walter. Mr. Kissinger, amid this historic moment, with all the pomp and grandeur of the political system of America all around you, tell us, sir, what are your innermost thoughts at this very moment?
Gotta find a woman, gotta find a woman, gotta find a woman, gotta find a woman.
Vice President Agnew, what are your thoughts, sir?
Right on. Right on.
Mr. Agnew, when you heard the rumors that President Nixon might not select you as his running mate again, what did you say to him?
You never should have promised to me. Give it here. Don't hold back now. Give it here. Don't say nothing. Just give it here. Come on.
Mr. Agnew, if you were in Senator McGovern's place, who would you have chosen as a running mate?
Bertha.
Bertha who?
Bertha Butt.
Who's she, sir?
One of the Butt sisters.
Do you agree, Mr. Kissinger?
Gotta find a woman. Gotta find a woman. Gotta find a woman. Gotta find a woman.
Thank you, Henry Kissinger and Vice President Agnew. Back to you, Walter.
Thank you, David. Now, Sidney Bruntley is over on the left side. He has Sergeant Schreiber with him.
Sergeant Schreiber, what did you say to Senator McGovern when he finally asked you to be his running mate?
You just call lonely brother when you need a hand.
How did you finalize your agreement with Senator McGovern?
Sealed with a kiss.
Oh, shades of excitement. One final question, sir. What kind of offer did Senator McGovern make you?
He made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Sidney, forgive me, but our roving reporter, Larry Reasoning, has Martha Mitchell on the microphone. Take it away, Larry Reasoning.
Mrs. Mitchell, would you like to talk to our listeners?
I'm talking to you, Daddy.
Now that your husband has resigned from politics, how do you feel, ma'am?
I'm the happiest girl in the whole USA.
Mrs. Mitchell, your complaint was that your husband didn't have any time to spend with you. Now that you are alone, ma'am, what do you talk about? Well, I can understand that, Mrs. Mitchell. Now, back to you, Walter.
Sidney Bruntley is on the left side of the floor with Mr. and Mrs. Eagleton and Senator McGovern. Take it away, Sidney.
Thank you, Walter. Senator McGovern, how did you feel when you and Senator Eagleton first separated, sir?
Alone again, naturally.
Oh, yes. What did you do then?
Call the doctor, woke him up.
And what did your physician advise?
Put the lime in the coconut and call me in the morning.
Everyone was turning you down, sir. If Sergeant Schreiber had also refused, who would you have turned to then?
My horse with no name.
Oh, I love horses. Now, Senator Eagleton, how does one feel in the morning when his world has been shattered, sir?
Well, you wake up in the morning and your hands are shaking and your nerves are all uptight.
Well then, Senator, why didn't you resign immediately?
Am I wrong for trying to hold on to the best thing I ever had?
Yes. And what are your feelings now towards the people who opposed you?
They shouted in your face all the time. They want to take your place, the backstabbers.
One final question to you, Senator Eagleton. What did you say to the newspaper columnist when you met him face to face? Senator McGovern, what are your feelings on that, sir?
How can a loser ever win?
Mrs. Eagleton, would you like to answer him?
Who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stop?
Who do you think will vote for Senator McGovern now that your husband is out? Ma'am, do you think you could have done more for your husband during those trying times?
I know it's not my fault. I did my best.
Thank you very much. Now back to you, Walter.
There's a commotion on the left side of the floor. We've got Senator Kennedy standing with Jane Rhonda. Take it away, David Stinkley.
Senator Kennedy, people are talking about your political future because of your good looks, your smile, and the sound of your voice. Why?
And the magnificent.
If you decide to run for president in '76, who will be your campaign manager?
The Candy Man.
Miss Rhonda, just one question, please. What do you think of President Nixon?
I don't know how to love him.
Thank you, Miss Rhonda. Mr. Kissinger, what are you doing all the way over here on this side of the hall?
Gotta find a woman. Gotta find a woman. Gotta find a woman. Gotta find a woman.
That's it from here, Walter.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Sidney. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, America. We now return you.
Mr. Kissinger. So, anyway, parody or sarcasm is always a good thing to lighten things up. Look, during this time, so many people are talking about the world is going to end. We're going to have World War III. We're going to have Barack Obama take us into FEMA camps, and we know all that. There's a lot of stuff. I'm going to report on it, and I'm going to report on it until it's the end or the new beginning, however it happens, but I am going to report on it. I'm going to report on the news, give you thoughts, ideas, give you my opinions, and then you're going to also talk to me about your opinions, either through email or website or actually calling into the show. But it's good to lighten it up every once in a while and have a little bit of fun, and have a little bit of interesting thing. We have time to be serious, and we need to be serious about things. But I'm going to share with you another great thing, and that's that we need to believe in the future. We don't need to be all the time thinking about how everything's going to blow up, explode, and fall apart. We can survive anything that happens. My friend Peter Kling wrote an excellent book, How to Survive Armageddon. We can survive anything, even the baddest war, the baddest famine, the baddest whatever. We as a people, the human race, can survive. We can survive. We can survive the New World Order. We can survive FEMA camps if they have them, nuclear. We can survive things that happen. It doesn't mean that we want them to happen. I don't pray evil on anyone. I pray happiness, blessings, and prosperity on everybody that's listening to me, and even the ones that aren't. Some people will agree with me on things. Some people, you will disagree with me on things, but we can agree on this one thing. The one thing is that we all as a people can survive. We can. We can survive. And so I believe that. And so let's understand that sometimes on the show, we'll break it up a little bit, and we'll have a little bit of fun. So, again, the call-in number is 347-989-1012. That's 347-989-1012. I'm waiting for you to call in. I'll go ahead and hit the number 1 when you call in, and then I'll be able to see that you're ready to talk on the air. Also, if you want to send me an email, shoot it off to mike@toughreality.com, or go to our website and look at all of these articles. Now, there's more than the articles I'm sharing online here. There's more stuff up there than you can shake a stick at, so to speak. So go to our website at toughreality.com. That's toughreality.com. toughreality.com. So let's continue on some interesting news articles. Now, these will be a little bit different, but interesting nonetheless. And then we're going to hop into some Chinese things, and then we're going to talk about some conspiracies. Okay? I found this article very interesting. There's an article that came out in the New York Times about Jesus maybe having a wife. Now, I've heard this before. You know, we saw, I think it was called the Da Vinci Code, where they talked about how Mary Magdalene was married to Jesus and they had a child, and then there was a bloodline and yada, yada, yada. And it could be true. I don't know. I don't have proof that it isn't or proof that it is. But this article presents a little piece of parchment that actually shows us, and you can, if you go to my website, go look for the article. It's called Jesus' Wife. That's all it is. Go search for Jesus' Wife, or go look in the recent posts, and you'll see where it says Jesus' Wife. Okay? So when you do that, and you hop out onto that link, you will then see a piece of parchment. And this evidently was written early, and I can't remember exactly. I don't have the article right there in front of me, but I think it was about the 8th century or so. It was or 4th, maybe the 4th century. That's when it was, the 4th century. And there's a phrase in there that's never been seen in any piece of scripture. And in this document, in this piece of text, it actually says, Jesus said to them, my wife. So it's actually papyrus, and it's smaller. They say smaller than a business card. So it's very interesting. It's smaller than a business card, and there's only like 8 lines on it in black ink, and you can read it. But it's just interesting because Jesus having a wife, the papyrus included a second provocative clause or statement that says she will be able to be my disciple. This is interesting. Look, I don't mean to mess anybody up that's religious or anything like that. I'm just saying these are things that are being presented out in the public, and I don't want to be ignorant. Now, if you go to this article, you'll see the picture of the papyrus. You'll see the article, and actually, you can look at it as an image, and then there's like a little magnifying glass, so you can increase the size and look at it. So it's just very interesting. But like I said, I don't want to be ignorant. Now, ignorant comes from the root word ignorant, or ignorance. Ignorant. That means you ignore. You are ignorant. You have ignored facts. You have ignored figures. So what I'm saying is don't ignore information. Now, information can be right information or wrong information. So you take the information, use wisdom, and then you, as a human, decide if this information is true or if this information is false. Never accept any information from anybody on face value. Don't accept it from me. Don't accept it from anybody. You look at the information, you make the decision on the information, and then you come across with what you think is the right way. Do not be ignorant. In other words, do not ignore information. Information is just that. Information is like money. Money is not good or bad. Information is not necessarily good or bad until you decide whether or not it's good or bad. Many people have given information during wars that was wrong information. Does that mean it's good or bad? Yeah, it's bad information, but it was still information. If our people in World War II didn't look at all of the information, compare all of the information, and then make a decision on if the information or the intelligence was correct, then they can make the decision, right? So many times especially in the blogosphere or on the internet worldwide, you'll find many information, many different things. You'll find information about the second sun. Okay, you'll find information about how the solar flare might create an EMP. You'll hear how the end of the world might be December 21st, 2012. You'll hear another person say the end of the world is actually until 2013. You'll hear that the Nibiru or Planet X or Wormwood or Herculobus is coming towards us. Is it? It's information. Look at the information. Evaluate the information. When you look at it, evaluate it, then you make a decision on you. If you think you need to prepare for Herculobus, Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood, or an earthquake or a tsunami, or you need to prepare for how the poles are going to shift, the crust shift, then do it. I suggest you prepare anyway. It's a good idea to have at least a little bit of food set aside. It's a good idea to have at least a little bit of water set aside. It's a good idea to have maybe a shortwave radio, maybe a regular radio, and some batteries, for God's sake. Sometimes we just need to make sense of our life and be prepared. That's what I like to say. You know, the old motto of the Boy Scouts, right? Be prepared. We should be prepared. And I'm not saying you have to store a year's worth of food. Some people maybe want to. If you make that decision, that's your decision for yourself. But I'm saying you should prepare something because we know that the earth is changing. We know that many people are saying many different things about many different prophecies and this and that. I'm saying just take a little time, prepare, enjoy your family, and especially go up to that website, Tough Reality, and go look at some of the articles up there. The Jesus wife thing, it's just so interesting to me to look at that papyrus, especially with the magnifying glass. That thing is so cool. And you sort of look at it and check it out and see the different letters. Now, granted, I cannot read anything that's on here. So again, we have to look at it and understand that if it's interpreted by the right person. But it's definitely interesting writing, and it's interesting to actually look at. So my job as a talk show host is to bring you information, is to let you see things that are out there and bring up the tough reality of a lot of things. Do I agree with things that are there? Maybe. Do I not agree? Maybe not. But I do have an opinion, okay? And so because my opinion is my opinion, I can have it, and you can have yours too. I will never stomp on your opinion. I'll never stop your opinion. I'll always make sure that we have room for dialogue. We need to have room for dialogue. We need to make sure that we allow others to make their comments, to make their understanding known, to make the way they feel explained. You know, there was a famous book by Stephen Covey, and I would suggest that you get this book. Now, on our website, we'll have listings of books that I've read that I like. Recommended reading, I call it. We're still building out the site, so we still got a lot of things to put up there. But his book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, okay? He had a principle in there, well, 7 principles. But one of the principles that really sort of stuck with me is to seek to understand before being understood. Seek to understand before being understood. In other words, when you're sitting down with a person and you're talking with them, seek to understand them. Seek to listen to them. Hear their point of view before you explain how your point of view is correct. My job as a talk show host is to listen to you. I don't like talking over people. I like having a conversation. I like to think of a conversation sort of like a ping pong match, or over here they call table tennis. I love table tennis, or you could say just plain tennis. I hit the ball to you, and what do you do? That's right, you hit the ball back to me. And then I hit the ball to you, boom, and what do? That's right, you hit the ball back to me. That's a conversation. And in conversation, seek to understand the person that you're with. It shouldn't, in relationships, it's important to develop strong relationships with certain people that you like and then discover them. Like, for example, if you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, if you're married, if you have a spouse, seek to understand them first. Then explain your point of view. Honey, get off the toilet seat down again. I can't believe that you did that. Seek to understand why. Is there a valid reason? No, I don't know. Maybe not. But seek to understand. Honey, did you buy this dress? It was $59. I can't believe that you did. We don't have $59. Seek to understand why. Honey, why did you buy this dress? And let her explain. Not, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you did that. No, seek to understand first. Again, back to the politic thing. We as people should seek to understand the other people before we try to make judgment on what they're doing. Seek first to understand, then be understood. It's a very, very simple principle, but I think very, very needed, especially in today's society. Now, another thing up at the toughreality.com site is last show, I talked a little bit about earthquakes. And what I went ahead and did was I put the earthquake map link up on the website. So there's an earthquake map link. This is directly from the usgs.gov. And it's the direct link right into the virtual earthquake map. So you'll see on there, like I just logged on there, you'll see many, many hundreds of yellow and red dots, and it explains on there what they're all about, where they're happening. We've had 284 earthquakes, be a magnitude 2.5 or above in the past 7 days. So we know that the plates are shifting. You can, on this map, you can see the tectonic plates and actually where they're located. You can see the different options. If you hover and move your mouse over the circles or where the earthquakes are at, you can click them, and when you click them, you'll go to more information about where the earthquakes are actually happening. So I would suggest go on up to the website, look at the earthquake map, check them out, and you'll have an opportunity to see just what's shaken in the world, so to speak. Now, another interesting thing I would suggest, I love studying like the Earth and the stars and that. A good thing, and it's free, I don't have a link up on the website, but a good thing, and it's free, is Google Earth. Google Earth is very interesting. I see a lot of people on YouTube talking about how they've blocked out the red planets. They've blocked out Herculobus, Planet X, Narubu, Wormwood. They blocked it out. And they might have, but there are plenty of other stars out there to look at. I'm not saying that Planet X isn't on its way or that we can't see it. I think that we can. But that's not the point. The point is go to Google Earth, download that, and study some of the stars. Go ahead and look at some of the things that are out there. And they're very interesting. So study the Earth, about the earthquake map, and check that out. It'll help you be prepared. You'll see where earthquakes are happening most of the time. And go ahead and study the planet. The neat thing about Google Earth is you can put in there, for example, let's say Shenzhen, China, right? You put that in and go to one side of the Earth and boom, there you are. You can put in Hollywood, California. Boom, 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 boom. Hooray for Hollywood. You're right there in Hollywood. You can put in there, let's see, South Carolina, where Michael Vera's at. You can go right to South Carolina. You put Seattle. You can put New York. Put Chicago. And the neat thing in America is they have street-level view maps. So you can just wander around the city just like if you were there. And you can see the buildings and that type of thing. So that's very, very interesting to me. So let's go ahead and take a quick break. It's top of the hour. We'll come back, talk about China, talk about some conspiracies, talk about a lot of different things. But here you go. Take a little break and talk to you very soon.
Is there proof of God's existence in our government's records? Author Jose Collazo brings his years of research into this stunning question to light in God Does Exist, No More Nuclear Testing, and more. Touching on little-known government projects such as the Remote Viewers Program and Active Auroral Research Program, Collazo has uncovered some amazing discoveries through his research and use of the Freedom of Information Act. From uncovered information on the Ark of the Covenant to connections between natural disasters and nuclear testing, experience this revealing look into our government's obscure and hidden work. Discover how new and experimental technologies may change our world forever and uncover monumental proof and answers to mankind's greatest questions in God Does Exist, No More Nuclear Testing, and more.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and facts that the mainstream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed. Also, take a look at Crystals TLC. Visit the website at www.crystalstlc.com. Hit the Avon link to view a full line of 100% guaranteed Avon products. See and order their specially scented, long-burning soy candles, which can be ordered directly from www.crystaltlc.com. Their candles are produced especially for Crystals TLC and come in a wide variety of beautiful scents. Visit them and let them bring beauty into your life. You're listening to the LNM Radio Network. There is a condition 1 out of every 3 people around the world suffer with.
RMS.
A condition that can be crippling.
RMS.
A condition that causes confusion and discomfort, rapid pounding of a fist on tables, and unwillingness to watch the fake news.
RMS.
Restless mind syndrome. You may not have heard of it, but if you are one of the millions suffering from this condition, there is now hope. You do not have to go through life not knowing what to do next or how to rid yourself of this health-bearing condition, now being recognized by doctors, lawyers, and victims all over the world. The cure? LNM. Just listen to this testimonial by one of our subscribers.
I can say true to my heart that LNM worked for me. I stood up day and night confused by what the fake news has told me. I could not even take care of my family or hold a job. I couldn't even get off the couch to do anything, and I knew there was a problem. Now, since I've been on LMN, my family life is back, and I'm waking up more people than ever around the world.
Now you know what you can do to put an end to restless mind syndrome. Ask your doctor about LNM and ask if it's right for you. LNM should not be taken without a prescription. It should never be taken while on drugs like Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. You should also tell your doctor if you take Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, or Randy Rhoads serious. Side effects of LNM include waking up, spreading truth, passing out cards and flyers. Other side effects may include, but not limited to, the expansion of mind and thought, arguments with sheeple, high blood pressure, preparedness, mood swings, and the feeling of a need to get involved. If you see chemtrails after you have begun using LNM, contact your state and local officials immediately, because this could be a sign you're waking up. LNM, because you don't have to live in the dark with RMS anymore.
I never one that will wipe the smile right from our face. Do you remember when we used to dance?
Ooh. Tough reality. And we're having a great time today. I want to give you the phone number one more time. It's 347-989-1012. That's 347-989-1012. Now, right before we went to break, we were talking about politics. We were talking about maybe a little religion. We were talking about the earth changes. We were talking about different things up on the website. But I want to continue on one more sort of a political posting that I thought was very interesting. And, you know, to me, it's amazing. It's amazing that we have worldwide calamity going on right now. I mean, if you were an alien looking down at this planet, you'd have your hands in your head in your hands thinking, "Oh my God, what are they doing down there?" Really. But my president, I respect the office of the president, but Mr. President, maybe we need to think about our decision-making process. Maybe we need to think about how much golf we're playing. Maybe we need to think about what kind of things we're doing. For example, I read the article, President Obama parties with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Come on. You got to be kidding me. What? Are you serious? Think about this. President Obama, how do you think this looks to people? People look, the average person can't party with Jay-Z and Beyonce. The average man can barely buy a CD so he can listen to the music. The average man is unemployed. In fact, remember, 47% of them are dependent on government. So Barack Obama was partying with two superstars. So hip-hop biggest power couple, Jay-Z and Beyonce, held a fundraiser. A fundraiser for President Barack Obama tonight in Jay-Z's 40/40 Club in Manhattan. In his speech at the event, Mr. Obama discussed his daughter's love for the musicians and what he and Jay-Z had in common. Isn't that exciting? So we could go to a fundraiser and find out what Barack Obama and Jay-Z have in common. He says, let me just begin by saying to Jay and Bay, thank you so much for your friendship. We're so grateful. Michelle and Malia and Sasha are mad at me because they are not here. Now listen. I can't believe that we're having a fundraiser talking about, hey, look at this, look at that, I'm your fan. Look, Mr. Obama, this is not a movie, okay? This is not a sitcom, okay? This is not The Love Boat, okay? This is not Gossip Girls. This is real life, okay? I'm not saying don't have fundraisers. Everybody has fundraisers. I'm saying we need to think about we need to think about how we're presenting ourselves to people, the government. Think about how you present yourself to the people, not just our people, but the world. People in the world look at this and think, oh, my gosh, he has time to party with the stars. Next thing I know, Mr. Obama, I don't want you to appear on Dancing with the Stars. Not yet. Wait until after you leave office, and then you can try that. So let's go ahead and move on a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about some Chinese stuff. Now, if you have any questions about China and you want to know anything about China, you can either call me at 347-989-1012. That's 347-989-1012. Or you can also email me, and that's Mike at toughreality.com, or you can go to the website and leave a comment at toughreality.com. Now, any question is fair. You can ask me, and then if it's good enough, if there's something that has some interesting things, then I'm going to read it on the radio show. Now, I won't use your whole name. I'll just use your first name, but I will read it, comment on it, and if you're online at that time, call in, and we can actually talk about it. Okay? So we have that ability to do that, and I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about China. Now, many people ask me, especially from America, and I have friends all over. I've been to, I think, 70 different countries, and so I've traveled a lot. I've been to Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Australia, all over South America, North America, of course, all over Europe, and Spain and France, Germany, Italy, all over there, England. I've been over some places in Africa. I've been to the Sudan and a few places like that. One place I have not gone to that I want to go to is very bad is Egypt to see the pyramids. I've never seen the pyramids. Now, this is a sidebar, but I heard that there were some terrorists that said they should blow up the pyramids. Please, Mr. Terrorist, if you're listening now, don't blow them up now. I haven't seen them yet. Seriously. We don't need to blow up antiquities. We don't need to blow up things that have memories with them. So I've been all over the place. And so many people ask me, what countries do I like the best? Well, I love America. I love, even though we have a lot of craziness going on now, I believe in America. I believe in the ideals and the freedoms and the things that we have. It's a very good country. Now, I've been to many countries that I like, and I really, 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 really like China. It's very interesting to me. The culture is very interesting. And the reason is because, in the United States, our culture is what, maybe 250 years old. If you travel it back to when we landed in 1492, so maybe it's 600 years old or so. But China has been around for thousands of years. There are some buildings here that I've been in that are 3,000 and 4,000 years old. It's incredible. And so the culture is very ancient. So they have modern technology, but very ancient beliefs. A lot of people. Some of the Chinese medicine is phenomenal. It's very amazing, and I'm going to put some cures and some different things up on the website over at Tough Reality so you can see some of the things to do. If you have headaches, there's a technique that I use. If I have a headache, that it'll take my headache away in about 2 minutes. No pills. No pills. So there's many different things in the culture. So when I go to a city in China, and I've traveled to, and we'll talk more on the website and more in the chat if you have any questions to me. But more and more, we have different types of exciting things going on in China, and so I'm very excited about being here. But the culture is very interesting. Now, it looks like we have a caller here online, and the number extension 814. That's 814. Hi, this is Mike. Who is this?
Hey, Mike. How you doing? I'm in your chat room, Peasant Revolt. I'm homesick today. Sorry for the raspy voice.
Uh-oh.
I probably got the swine flu or, I don't know, West Nile virus or some crazy, crazy stuff. But I wanted to get your opinion on this crazy video, man, that comes out, like 7 weeks before the election. But I've seen one actually, where Romney's talking about China, and he's with Bain Capital, and they're looking to buy this company in China, and he's telling the people, he's at a fundraiser also, private one though, and he's talking about how 12 women, 3 beds, in this little dorm room, and there's guards to keep employees out and stuff like that. So I just want to get your opinion on what you think of the video and how you think it's going to affect the election for him.
Yeah, and it might. It might affect the election, but I think a lot of times what I hear from, especially I think the Republican side, is that China has sweatshops and people are throwing themselves out of windows and people are killing themselves because they're working 70 hours a day. They have 2-year-old children working, making iPhones. So a lot of that is over-exaggeration. If I walk down the street, there are many different businesses. There's Samsung here. It's not a Chinese company, but there IBM, Lenovo is here, Apple iPhone, Foxconn is here. Foxconn is a big business here from Singapore, but a lot of people here work in Foxconn, and they make a lot of the internal parts for Cisco routers, which are all over the United States. So I think a lot of times there's some, especially against the Chinese, trying to make it appear worse than it really is. Do I think the video can hurt Romney? Yes. I think anything that is like this can hurt a candidate. It's the same thing when he came out and they recorded the thing of him saying the 47% of people are dependent on the government. It might be right, but when he does it in secret, it looks like he's trying to hide something.
Well, no. I watched the videos and stuff like that. I had a couple other people, over, and they watched the videos. I wanted to get their reaction to it. When he's like the thing with China, that's the opposite. The way he sees it, it's the government over in China is doing you a favor. People, after the Chinese New Year or 2 weeks after or whatever. Or standing out, a couple hundred standing out in line trying to get a job there, like it's a great place to work. He seems, if you listen to his voice inflection, he sounds very excited about it. And also, like in the other video about the 47%, which are victims, as he put it, or feel that they're victims. So I know here where I'm at in central Pennsylvania. There's a lot of voters, I think, that were going to vote for Romney, and it really pissed them off because they're retired and stuff like that, and they're just like, oh, he's talking about me. I'm not a victim. What the hell is he talking about? And a lot of people noticed his voice inflection, almost like his disdain for them 47%. And I think that's what's going to resonate.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. Like, for example, my mom is 70, okay? So she gets a Social Security check. So she's one of those people that he's talking about.
Is your mom, is she a victim? She's not a victim, right?
My point.
I'm trying to understand I'm trying to understand this guy. You know what I mean?
Well, look,
he's a very special businessman, and I'm trying to understand him, but, it's almost like he's half-baked. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. No, I hear what you're saying. Look, for me, both of these candidates are, I don't know what to say. Last show I talked about how the lesser of two evils is still evil, right? And so we have to really choose. And see, our concern, and my friends in the U.S. that I talk to, their concern is, well, if I vote for the Libertarian, or if I vote for, Ron Paul, or if I vote for the Green Party or this party, then it takes away my vote, and then Barack Obama will be back in. Well, okay. If Romney gets in, I don't know what I'm going to get either. Really. I mean, I know everybody. Look, I know what I have with Obama, and I don't like everything, but I would prefer to maybe even stay with that instead of go to something I don't even know. A man who has to hide, I don't know, maybe hide things, but makes it sound like, see, that's the thing, like you're saying, makes it sound like he doesn't like it. That's your word. So what do you think?
I'm sorry, I missed that. You got cut off there.
Well, what I'm saying is, I agree with you. It sounds like he has a disdain in his voice. It sounds like he has this, I don't like those 47%. I need to cut them off. Right?
Well, no, actually, where I kind of picked up the voice inflection was when he was talking about that people think they have like, I don't know, this right to food and stuff like that, and he's like, it's an entitlement, or somewhere somewhere in that sentence. But that really doesn't matter. I mean, this guy's he's trying to raise money, and things like that, and he's got people in front of him. So he's just telling them what they want to hear? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My mom put money into Social Security, so it is an entitlement for her. She deserves to get the money back. I put money into Social Security. You put money into Social Security. We are entitled to that. I mean, we are.
I was just going to kick in there because I had a small trucking company, and every check I wrote, besides the employee putting money into Social Security, so did I. I had to match that. You know what I'm saying? So if it was $25 or $50 came out of their check, I had to also pay that too. I had to, so it's like double down on Social Security. I don't know if people know that. Any employer knows that quarterly you have to, you have to pay that.
I'm sure a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I remember writing checks. It was just getting started out, right? And going through what I had to, what I had to pay and stuff, and it's like, wow, I gotta match whatever this employee makes, and whatever they're putting into Social Security, I have to match it. But again, I mean, I look at both candidates, and I swear to God, man, it's almost like two car salesmen. And it's like, all right, I swear to God, I've used this analogy before, and it's like this time I want to see the freaking Carfax, man. That's it. I'm not buying a car without the Carfax. I don't care what you say, but nobody's showing me the Carfax. And Ronnie, I don't know if that's his Carfax or not. That video.
Oh
you know
God.
what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I agree with you, man. All right, man, that's a great call. I want you to call me back some other time, too.
Yeah, I'm going to actually follow you. It seems like a pretty good show.
Man, thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the call, man.
Great day. Bye-bye. All right, that was a great call. Thank you so much for calling. And so true. I like what he said about he wants to get the Carfax from the two car salesmen. You got Obama and you got Mitt Romney, the two car salesmen sitting there. Hey, you can buy my 1989 Chrysler New Yorker just for you. That's right. You can have this one, this one, this one. You can have this and this and this. Come on, take a test drive. If you buy today, you can get a free microwave. Woo! Oh my God. That's just so funny. It's true. It's true. They sound like car salesmen. And I really wish they did have, like what you said, that they had some kind of Carfax so that we could actually check them out. And that would be so cool if we did have that. So let's take a quick break really fast here, and we will come right back at you. And again, the phone numbers are 347-989-1012. That's 347-989-1012. You can also call in through Skype. You can meet us up on our website, or you can meet us in chat. Okay? Talk to you later.
Is it possible to read a person's thoughts? Can we implant thoughts also? Is there evidence of the existence of God? Does USGS records show increases in earthquakes due to nuclear testing? Author Jose Collazo says yes, and he has the proof in his 3 books titled America's New Slavery, fMRI Technology, America's New Slavery Behind the Scenes and Update, God Does Exist, No More Nuclear Testing, and much more. Researched under the Freedom of Information Act and other sources, Jose Collazo has the proof to most of his claims and is investigating others. You can get copies of his books on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or www.xlibris.com. That's www.xlibris.com. Or you can click the book banner on the main page right next to the chat room on www.latenightinthemidlands.com. Get your copy now. Folks, L&M is going through some changes. Changes on the air, changes on the website, and changes in our funding. We felt these changes were necessary in order to live up to the slogan, and more important, to be true to the very people who made us one of the best on the net. We need you now more than ever so that we can continue to bring you the best guests and the best information. The truth is, we cannot survive without the support of our listeners, and that is sometimes hard to get through to some people's heads. So for those people, we say goodbye and welcome our new era on the LNM network. Please help us by donating on the website. The donate buttons are located on the right-hand side of www.latenightinthe-midlands.com, and we thank you all for your support and understanding through these times of change. The good news is, we're Late Night in the Midlands, and we really do
cover everything.
Again, we are reality, tough reality. A lot of the articles and a lot of the things I talk about are over on toughreality.com. That's TOUGHREALITY.com. And if you want to get a hold of me in email, you can shoot me an email at mike@toughreality.com and hit me up there. You can also catch me many times over in the Late Night in the Midlands site. I'm in the chat room there a lot. I want you to go over, when you have a chance, go over to Late Night in the Midlands, and you can actually sign up there if you haven't signed up already. Sign up, and you can join and look at some of the – Mike's got a lot of great information over there, a lot of videos, a lot of articles, a lot more than me, but I'm putting mine up to catch up as much as I can. But Late Night in the Midlands, great site and great show, too. Now, Mike has a show that they cover everything. So they do. They cover everything from angels to earth changes. So everything that you can imagine they cover, too, just similar to what we do, cover the news, cover the article, and great opinions. Mike has a very strong opinion about a lot of things, and that's why I like listening to him. The other thing, too, is that when you go to the Late Night in the Midlands site, what I want you to do is in the center at the top, there's actually a tab there that says On-Air Schedule. Now, I want you to go over there and look at the on-air schedule. You'll be able to see that there's, of course, my show is there. Mike's show is there, too. But there's many other shows that are coming on, that are already on, that are great shows, great things to listen to. But you go look in there, and you'll get to see many different shows that are there. And as they are added, Michael Vera's putting in the other ones. Again, thank you for all that Michael does. Is a very good thing. So let's go ahead and get back a little bit, talking about some things in China. Now, I left off talking a little bit about the culture and how it's an ancient culture. So I have been to many different cities inside of China. I've been to, I can name them off, Dalian, Chengdu, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Hangzhou, Shenzhen, Chongqing, Wuhan, many different places. Every place I go to, I try my hardest to go to the museum because I'd like to discover things about the culture. I want to learn about the Chinese and where they came from, what they did, the ancient emperors. That's very interesting to me, especially ancient history with the emperors. It's just interesting the way they did things. So the culture is very interesting to me. Now also the people. The people are very interesting. Now the people I've been here off and on since 2008. And I've only had one person that I've ran into that was rude to me. The rest of them, they'll tell you where to go. They'll have great directions. If you don't know where the restroom is, they'll help you with that. In fact, the restroom over here, they don't call the restroom or men's room or bathroom or women's room. They call it the WC. WC for water closet. It's a similar thing that they say in like Germany, if you're there, that they'll call the bathroom the WC or the water closet. So the people are very nice and very kind. Every I've gone out and eaten many times with the Chinese people, and they always insist on paying, even if you know they're of limited means. They constantly want to take you out. Some of the favorite things that they like to do, the people like to do, they love to go out to eat. Okay, so they love to go just sit down, have a pot of noodles or a bowl of soup, and sit there. And their beer here is called Chen Dao. And so they love drinking, not everybody, but a lot of the people I go with, they would drink a little bit of Chen Dao with each other. And when you cheer somebody, in America we say cheers or Prost or whatever for when you lift your glass, they say Ganbei. Ganbei. So the next time you're with somebody, say Ganbei, and that's just like cheers. So you can say Ganbei. Now, when the people greet you, they say Ni Hao. Ni Hao is similar to saying hello, Ni Hao, and Ganbei. And if somebody does something for you and you like it, you say Xie Xie. Xie Xie. That means thank you. Thank you. So those are just some of the words that are there. But if you have any questions, if you are going to come to China, then we can talk, and then you can learn some words and different things like that. So they're very nice, very kind people. I would almost call them loving people, and they're very interested. At least the people on the streets I've met, they're very interested in learning about other cultures. So when I walk down the street, it's normal to have somebody walk up to me and say hi and ask me where I'm from, ask me if I like China. But some of them only know how to say hi. So they want to practice some English on the English guy. So they'll go up, run up, and they'll say hi, and I'll say hi back, and then they'll run away because they don't know what else to say next. The other popular phrase that they use here in China is, I'm fine, thank you, how are you? So if I would say, hi, how are you? They would say, I'm fine, thank you, how are you? And then I would say, I'm fine, thank you, how are you? And then some of them run away because they don't know what else to say. So sometimes that's interesting. The other thing that's interesting is that I have very blue eyes. And so sometimes, and the Chinese people, of course, have beautiful brown eyes. And so sometimes if I look at a baby, I will make the baby cry. It's not because I'm ugly, at least I don't think so, but not because I stink. I don't think I stink. But anyway, I look at them, and I think it's the blue eyes. When they see the blue eyes, they might think I'm a monster, because they're used to seeing mommy and daddy. They're used to seeing them as the beautiful brown eyes. Here in China, the name for mommy is mama. Just very similar to all over the world. Mama, mom, mama. So sometimes I do. I don't mean to, but sometimes the babies cry. So they're very nice people. Also, the students, the younger children, are all trying to learn English. It's just amazing how many schools that's their focus is to learn English, along with Chinese, of course. But if I'm in an elevator or if I'm out on the street and there's maybe a 10-year-old male or female boy or girl, and the mom is there and I'm standing there, they will try to encourage their 10-year-old to speak English to me. Speak English to the American. They won't say that. They'll say that in Chinese, and encourage them to do it, even though the parents can't speak any English. Now, a famous Chinese word here is timadong. Timadong means I don't understand. So usually if I see somebody doing that, I'll say, do you understand English? And they'll wave their hand at me, and I'll say, timadong. Yes, don't understand. So it's very interesting the way that happens. And finally, so I like the culture a lot. I like the people a lot. And finally, the food. Now, some Americans have asked me, how can you eat that food all the time? When's the last time you had a steak? When's the last time you had a hamburger? Well, last time I had a steak, quite frankly, a regular steak, was when I was in the U.S. last year. And here in China, I don't eat much meat. Honestly, I eat noodles. I eat vegetables. I like coming here because I don't gain a lot of weight. I mean, I stay thin because I eat a lot of the food that they eat. So I'm constantly eating noodles and vegetables. I don't eat as much rice. In southern China, in some of the provinces down here, like in Guangdong and that, they eat a lot of rice. So with the meal, they'll have rice. In the north, like towards Beijing, towards Xi'an, Shanxi, they eat noodles a lot. And so they enjoy their noodles. And so the south, rice. The north, noodles. And they'll normally have those noodles or rice with every meal that they have. And along with that, they'll have usually some kind of meat, maybe fish or little bits and pieces of pork or chicken or a little bit of beef, and then vegetables. Now, the vegetables are very delicious here. They have a lot of green vegetables that they eat, so I eat green vegetables. And very good. Now, they don't have, like in America, we have a salad, like a regular salad. They don't really have the salad type thing. In fact, if you go to they have a supermarket here, like in the United States, you have Albertsons or Safeway or that type of thing. Here they have a thing called the Vanguard. If I go in there to buy vegetables, they do not have the iceberg lettuce or the head lettuce. They don't have that. They have tomatoes, but you can't really make a salad like with onions and tomatoes and the head lettuce and then mix it with salad dressing, because you have to go search out salad dressing. They don't just have it on the shelf. There are a few American places you can buy things, but you have to go find them. And usually it's very expensive. For example, I love Fritos. I really do. They don't carry them in the regular supermarket. I have to go way, way, way over into another place. Now, think about it like this. Most American cities, they have like a Chinatown, right? You can go there, get Asian food, you can do this, that, and the other. And the Chinese people or Asian people or Korean, whoever, would go there if they want to get their Asian food. Same thing here, but it's not Chinatown, it's American town, right? Or the Caucasian town or the European town, right? So they'll have some stores there that you can go to. They even have some bars and some restaurants that you can go to that serve American-style food. But you have to go there to get the things. And there's only one place I know of in the city I'm at that has Fritos. And it's about 2 hours away from here to get the Fritos. And then when you get there, the Fritos are about $5 for a regular bag of Fritos. Now in America, we get those for about $2. Here it's about $5 US, and so it's very expensive. But most of the food that you eat here in China is very, very inexpensive. Very inexpensive. And, and I think I've shared this before, a family of 4, if I'm in the U.S., usually per plate could be $10 to $20 per plate, including the drinks and all that, right? So let's just say $10, right? So if each person's $10, in the United States, to feed 4 people, it would be, what's 10? That's like $40, right? In China, I could feed those same 4 for about $15 US. Certain restaurants. If I go to an American restaurant here, it's a lot more expensive. Now, some people ask me, what type of restaurants do they have? They have very good restaurants. They have very delicious restaurants and very specific restaurants to provinces. So they have northern province restaurants. They have southern province restaurants. They have seafood restaurants. Oh, my gosh. The crab, the lobster, the clams and the mussels. They're delicious. And so cheap. Oh, my gosh. I can eat lobster and crabs, mussels, and clams, all of that with another 4 friends or so for about $15 US, maybe $20 US. Feed everybody, including Qingdao, including beer. Oh, so delicious. I really do enjoy it. So the food is very good. The noodles are good. And I like, sometimes I'll eat the rice if I have to. But I really also I like the seafood. And, there are McDonald's here, and KFC all over the place. McDonald's, KFC, and Pizza Hut. So the one thing that's very interesting is that, one time I was working with a Chinese person, and they said, "Well, Mike, I want to get you some lunch." And I said, "Oh, yes, cool. Go get me some lunch." I'm going to go get some hamburgers. I said, cool. Hamburgers, man, I'd like some hamburgers. So he took off, came back in maybe 20 minutes, came back and gave me a KFC bag with a piece of chicken in it on a bun. I said, "What's this?" He said, "Oh, this is a hamburger." I said, No. This isn't a hamburger. This is a chicken sandwich. He said, No. This is a hamburger. I said, well, in America, we would call this a chicken sandwich. And it's good. It's delicious, but not a hamburger. If you go into a KFC, you don't buy a hamburger. You buy a chicken sandwich. If you go into McDonald's, you can buy a chicken sandwich or a hamburger. And he said, oh, so a hamburger is just with beef. I said, yes. So that's very interesting about McDonald's and about KFC. We'll talk more about that on other shows too. But one other thing about food before I get off of it. Pizza Hut. Now, their food is good, but the Pizza Hut pizza here, here's a secret. The Pizza Hut pizza here in China doesn't taste the same as pizza in the USA. It just doesn't. They don't put a lot of sauce on it, so you don't get a lot of red sauce. If you want that, you have to ask for it extra. They don't add a lot of cheese, so even asking for extra cheese is like a normal cheese in the U.S. So these are very interesting things. And as the show goes on, I will discuss daily things that happen to me. There were many things that happened today that are very funny that I'm not going to talk about today. But in the future, we will talk about them. And as people come on the show, we're going to also do interviews with different Chinese people that I know. 3 or 4 minute interviews, where they're from, what their name is, what they want to know about America, those type of things, because they are listening to the show also at the same time. It's right now about 11:42 here, so it's almost midnight. So it'll be 12 p.m. East Coast. It'll be 12 a.m. China Coast. Okay, so some of my students tonight, people that I've talked with, some of the people that I work with, they are listening tonight. So it's very exciting, and so I enjoy that, to know that, and I hope you have a good time listening to those interviews as we bring them up. So again, I like the culture, I like the people, and I like the food. Now I'm going to hop on over really quickly to some of the conspiracies. Now I have about 15 minutes left. I'm trying to get through as many as I can, but I have them all listed up, and it's just very interesting to me. These are the conspiracies I find the most interesting. Okay? Now, you might find other conspiracies that are interesting. You might watch Conspiracy Theory. Great show by Jesse Ventura. If you have a chance to watch it, watch it. But these are ones that I find interesting. So if you find something else interesting, what I want you to do is I want you to also go up to our website over at the toughreality.com, leave a comment, or email me at mike@toughreality.com, or go to the, like I said, the website and do that. You can also call me right now if you'd like to. I got time to take maybe 1 or 2 more calls. 347-989-1012. That's 347-989-1012. So these are the conspiracies I like. Number one that I like, the AIDS virus was created in a laboratory. Now this is way based on the back 1974, that the World Health Organization created this virus, and they believed that it was an attempt to create a thing that would kill certain people, and it was used to make sure that in Africa certain people died and certain people didn't. There was some CIA conspiracy to kill off the racists. Okay. Was it? I don't know. Any of these that I talk about tonight, I'm not going to make a judgment on. I'm just saying these are ones I like. You can like them or not. You can disagree with me if you want. Not a problem. Another one. Harold Wilson was a Soviet agent. Now, Harold Wilson was a labor leader, and people say he was a secret agent, man. There was a plot against Harold Wilson kidnap him, to take him out. We don't know what's going on. But it was that he was a KGB agent. So that's what interested me. Spies always interest me. So if you're a spy on the line, please call in now, and we'll talk. I like spies. I like spy novels. I like Tom Clancy. I like the Tom Clancy books, the Patriot Games, the Clear and Present Danger. I like those type of movies. Very interesting. And it'd be good is to see if we could get that guy who is actually who is based the Clancy novels on. See if we could get him on the show. Oh, I think I'm going to try that. Here's another one. Paul McCartney is dead. Paul is dead. Now, this is an urban legend that, oh my gosh, happened since 1966, saying that Paul died in a car crash. And they said that there was like a look-alike that came instead of Paul because the Beatles at the time were very popular, and everybody loved them, and they screamed and they fainted and all that. So they knew that, and so they didn't want the frenzy to go away. So there was many statements allegedly being played and done that he was actually dead. In fact, on the album, I think it was maybe the White Album or Abbey Road album. In fact, especially Abbey Road. Abbey Road had them where Paul was walking barefoot across the street. And, barefoot, they bury a person barefoot. So there was very interesting things that they did. Was it a publicity stunt? Is Paul the real Paul, or is he somebody else? I don't know. Could be either way. But another one I like, Shakespeare was not Shakespeare. Who really was Shakespeare? Now, some people say they don't know. But Francis Bacon, way back when, said, I don't think Shakespeare is Shakespeare. So it's very interesting. In history, we have conspiracy theories that go way back to the Middle Ages. Things that people said, this person, I don't think is Shakespeare. Well, who is he? Tell me who he is. Here's another one I like. Elvis Presley faked his own death. Yes, the king. Thank you very much. The king of rock and roll. A lot of people believe that the king did not die in 1977. Many of the fans, in fact, my mom is a wonderful woman, and she loves Elvis Presley. And I don't know, I've never asked her this question, but maybe she still believes that Elvis is alive somewhere. But she really enjoyed Elvis when he was alive. Now, the main reason that people think that this is conspiracy is because they have proof or said something that his middle name Aaron, A-R-O-N, is spelled as A-A-R-O-N, but A-A-R-O-N is actually the genuine middle name for Presley. Apparently, either Presley or his parent tried to change the name to A-R-O-N to make it more similar to Presley's stillborn twin, Jesse Garon Presley. Very interesting. And so it's a conspiracy theory. Is he alive? Is he not? I don't know. It could be. But conspiracy theories are conspiracy theories. These are things that we like to discuss and think about them, and then decide whether or not it's something that is true, is actual. Who knows? So another one that I like, the Illuminati and the New World Order. Now, to some people, this is a conspiracy. To me, I think this one's real. This is my opinion. I think there's plenty of evidence that there's a conspiracy about the Illuminati and the Bilderbergs and the Council of Rome and the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. I believe that there's a conspiracy with the New World Order, that the groups, they control political, finance, social engineering, mind control. They have fear-based propaganda to achieve everything they want. The signs of the NWO are said to be like the pyramids, and the reverse of our dollar bill. That there's disturbing murals at the Denver International Airport, and the Pentagon is shaped like it's shaped because of these Illuminati the World Bank, the IMF, the European Union, United Nations, and NATO, they're all said to be founding organizations of this new world order. Now, do I think that there's a new world order? Yes. I think there's some organization out there that is controlling things. I think that the government, I think some of the government is bad. But I think some of all government are bad because they try to control people. That's what I think. That's my opinion. Is it right? Well, not everybody that works in government is bad. There are good people that work in government. If you're a government worker listening to me, God bless you. It's not an easy job, I know, to deal with the public. But a government worker, some of them are bad. And some of the leadership is good. Those are what we get when we have a whistleblower. And some of the government is bad. And not just bad, but very bad. So we want to make sure that we, as Americans, vote for the candidates that make the most sense for our country. I'm talking about your sheriff, your local government in cities and counties and state, your senators and your representatives, the president. I say you need to vote. You need to vote your conscience. Vote your heart. If it's writing in Ron Paul, if it's voting for the Libertarian, if it's voting for Mitt Romney, or if it's voting for Barack Obama. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm telling you to vote. Because look, there's a very famous quote. For evil men to triumph, all that needs to be done is good men do nothing. For evil to triumph, good men do nothing. Evil wins if good men do nothing, or women. Evil wins. Good can win, but you have to do something. You can't sit on your rusty dusty and say, I can't believe those Republicans. I can't believe those Democrats and that dang liberal in there doing this and spending my money. Vote. If you vote, you will have an opportunity to complain and change. Change the things that are most needed to be changed. Now, here's another one I like. NASA faked the moon landing. Now, some of the theories are that NASA had a movie set and they actually put the cameras in certain directions and they filmed everything. And the reason some people say this is that in some of the videos that we see shadows in different directions. Like we'll see one shadow of Neil Armstrong going to the right and another one going to the left. So how do you explain that? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe there's a sun and maybe there was a reflection from the camera on a light. I don't know. Or maybe they did have it in a movie theater. I don't know. There was a movie back, I think it was in the 70s, maybe early 80s. And believe it or not, it starred one of our famous Americans, O.J. Simpson. The movie, oh gosh, I can't remember the name. I can't remember. If anybody remembers, you can throw it up in the chat or you can call me. But I thought it was Capricorn 1, but I don't think it was. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know if they faked the landing, faked some of it, faked all of it. It could be that they did some of it. I'm not really sure how they did it, but it could be a lot of different things. So I'm not really sure exactly. But that's a conspiracy, just like any of the other ones. Now, another one that I find very interesting, this one here, I believe in this conspiracy, Roswell. They say that in 1948, there was a crash. I think it was, strike that, 1947. It was right around July, maybe July 6th or 7th. There was a crash in Roswell, New Mexico. And they believe that it was a crash site and there were many different things happened. One, they believe that there were aliens that were on those craft that we took possession of and hid them. At the time when it first happened, they came out and said there was a UFO that crashed. Then they changed the news report. Now, there are many, if you don't know about this, go to YouTube and type in Roswell 1947. And there are hundreds of videos explaining everything that happened. There's also many movies about Roswell. Now, I believe that something happened. I don't think that a weather balloon crashed. Now, they later on went to say that a weather balloon crashed. I don't believe that. I believe something crashed. Could have been a spacecraft that we were testing, maybe. Maybe the military was testing, and could have been, and they didn't want that secret to get out. Could have been some early on stealth bombers. I don't know. It could have been that it was a craft from the future. It could have been. It could have been maybe an alien from Zeta or Palladians, or I don't know. It could have been any of those. I'm just saying that I don't have proof that it is or it isn't, but I believe more that it is than it isn't, because a lot of things jive during that time. You know, we all of a sudden started working with computers, and we all of a sudden started having a lot of different things come around that, quite frankly, we don't know where they came from. So the conspiracy theory for this has been around for many years, and many people have actually built their whole career on Roswell and the crashes there and the secret things that are going on at Roswell. And I love listening to authors about what they think is going on in Roswell, or what they think has gone on in Roswell, or the alien interview, or all of those things. I find it very interesting. Now, the other thing, too, is that out of that, later on, people were so interested in UFOs, they also had I think it was the Air Force did a Project Blue Book. One night, I'm going to discuss UFOs, and we'll have hopefully we'll have a guest on about it, but if not, we will just discuss UFOs, my opinions, what we think, and we'll see how those. But Roswell, I know happened. I just don't know exactly what happened. So that's very good, and I enjoy thinking about conspiracy theories and that type of thing. So here's another one for you that I find very interesting. And if I can ever, I think his name is Jim Mars. The assassination of John F. Kennedy. Now, there was a movie that was made called JFK. And before I watched that movie, I was born in 1961. So when President Kennedy got shot in 1963, I was only 2 years old. I just turned 2 in October. I don't remember where I was. My mom does. My dad did. They remember exactly, like for me, I remember exactly what I was doing on 9/11, exactly where I was. But my mom remembers exactly what she was doing, what happened, all of that. I don't remember that. But do I think there was a conspiracy? Well, after looking at all of the evidence and things that have gone on, oh my gosh, it's really amazing to think that it wasn't a conspiracy. I've looked at some of the movies, some of the clips on YouTube, and there's so many things that I look at that I'm like, how could you not? That there was something going on there. It was just amazing. Now, there's one other one that I have. I don't have time. I have like 1 minute left. I don't have time to go to that one tonight, but next time, I promise, I will finish my last one of conspiracies. I promise I will. But what I want you to do, though, is I want you to go ahead and go to my website, toughreality.com, and email me at mike@toughreality.com. On Facebook, follow us on Twitter, go to Pinterest. I just put up a Pinterest site. I don't have many photos up there, but go check it out anyway. It's very cool. I just want to say love, blessings, peace to everybody. Believe good things in everybody every day, and tell the people that you love today that you love them, because they want to hear it. Okay? God bless you. Have a great night, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.